Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Julie's Orchids. Today we're going to do a closer look at this species EncycliaLancifolia and discuss how I care for this plant and how I get it to rebloom. So do stick around. So first things first, this is EncycliaLancifolia. Currently accepted name by Q is Prostechlia cochleata, variety cochleata. This is an orchid species that was first identified in 1971. So this orchid is near and dear to my heart, as that's when I was first discovered, 1971. Any rate, this is beautiful Encyclia. It's, as you can see, it's relatively delicate in size. It's not huge. And the flowers look like little octopuses. And they have a very lovely light floral fragrance to them. And if you're standing within, arm's length of the plant, you get a nice little waft of this just beautiful, subtle, floral happiness. It's all I can say is it's just such a happy scent that it gives off. It makes you smile. You cannot not smile when you catch the waft of the scent of the EncycliaLancifolia. Okay, so this is a orchid from Mexico. Typically grows in oak or pine oak forests, occasionally at rocks, and at elevations of 300 to 1,500 meters. It's described as a small to medium-sized, hot to cool-growing epiphyte and occasional lithophyte. I grow this thing indoors in my grow room under grow lights. It seems to be quite happy in what I would consider intermediate temperatures. So it can handle being hot, it can handle being cool, it can handle everything in between. So with this plant, if you're happy, it's happy as far as temperature goes. And that makes it pretty easy to grow. Now, I'd like to point out that this plant is very, very happy. You've got nice little bits of happy sap. You can see there's some down here. So yeah, this plant is a very happy plant. I've had it for a couple of years now, and it's been reliably blooming for me. It's bloomed in the past. You can see here's a spent flower spike. And it will keep, as you can see, keep putting out flowers on the flower spike over time. So much like the Prostechlia cochleata that I have right there, that's quite a bit bigger than this one. Again, it has the octopus-shaped flowers, and it's a sequential bloomer. You can see open flowers, and it's just going to keep putting flowers, flowers, flowers. Now, interesting, this is the first time I'm getting one to branch, at least off of the bigger Prostechlia cochleata that I have there. But we're talking about this one, which I purchased from Nikki's Slippers as EncycliaLancifolia, and it's a small plant compared to Prostechlia cochleata back there. And we're talking about Prostechlia cochleata, variety cochleata, otherwise known as EncycliaLancifolia today. Okay, so we'll get a look at what I have this plant potted up in. I have it potted up in the semi-hydro with the self-draining holes on the back. You can see the roots right here are growing down into the pot media, and it seems to be a happy plant. As I mentioned, there's plenty of happy sap on it. Now, I've had this a while, and this was with me back when I was growing in bark. I did change from bark to pumice because through COVID, it was very difficult to get bark that wasn't already half rotted. And I find that whereas the initial expense of buying the pumice was the same cost as buying the bags of bark, you can reuse pumice. It helps hold on to moisture a bit longer in my dry climate. And I just find for me, pumice works better in the semi-hydro setup for the plants because of my dry climate. I did do a video on humidity and how I deal with that, and I'll put a link to that here so you guys can have a look at that one. But yeah, this grows in my grow room, so it gets humidity levels. Typically my grow room, I can maintain about 60-61% all year long, no fail. In the heart of winter when it's really raining, it gets up to 70% in there some days. And I just make sure I got a lot of really good airflow moving on those days. I put an extra fan in the grow room. Did have a bit of a learning curve. You can see I had a little bit of a Constantina leaf right here. A little bit of a learning curve with this one on getting it into the pumice, but now that it's gotten into it, you can see the new growths are coming just fabulously. And we've got another flower spike forming here. We've got one forming there. That's an old flower spike. And then we've got these two in bloom. Those two flower spikes in bloom there. With that lovely, just look at all that happy sap coming off this plant, even underneath that little bud there. This is just a happy plant. Okay, so LED lighting. It gets LED lighting. It's get full spectrum LED lights, and the LED lights run for about 12 hours a day. It gets a little bit of supplemental light of natural sunshine because of its location in the grow room, but not much. As you know, in the grow room, we just have the one big sliding glass door and no other windows, and a little bit of sunlight comes into that, but it doesn't make it all the way across to the other side of the room. So it gets maybe a little bit of natural sunlight, but other than that, it's grown 100% under full spectrum LED grow lights, and they run for 12 hours a day in the summer, and then I bring them down to about 8 hours a day in the winter. Now this nice mature plant gets the same fertilizing routine that I give all of my mature plants. So they'll get fertilizer one weekend, about, 300 parts per million. And then the next weekend they'll get CalMag. If it's growing season, it's actively growing, they'll get seaweed the following weekend. And then the fourth weekend of the month, they get a good flushing. It seems to be happy with the plants. I can't complain about it. This one's a reliable bloomer. It kind of took a little bit of a beating right here when it grew this one, but I think that was from when I made the transition into pumice on this. It did bulk at the transition a little at first, and I think it was mostly because I didn't plant it at the right time. It was not putting out new root nubbins when I did it, but that's okay. It's recovered and it's still a reliable bloomer. So if you're looking for a lovely little orchid that's not going to get massively huge and puts out a nice fragrance, I'll look for EncycliaLancifolia. You can grow it very successfully in 55 to 65% humidity under grow lights in the home environment, perfectly fine. All right, guys, so that's how I care for EncycliaLancifolia and how I get it to rebloom and keep blooming and putting out flower after flower on these sequential blooming spikes. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. I thank you guys so much for watching. If you found value in the video, can you please give it a share around? Other people might be interested in how to grow this particular species in their home growing environment. And we've also opened up membership on the channel, so if you'd like to help support the orchids, there are some member benefits, so have a peek into that. And again, I thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up, and a subscribe would be great. Enjoy!